right, Mine Harbor episode 4. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
What'd you say, Hannah?
I'm doing fantastic.
Wonderful. By the way, as I said before we started, I love this goddamn camera setup. It is my favorite setup so far.
That double view.
Yeah, that's
Third person.
diabolical. I love it.
Twice the Martin.
Yeah, so
That's my second
welcome. We've got a couple of little updates, and then I've got one topic. And then Sean has a topic, I think, as well.
Not really. I was just talking about Money Heist.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
I
that's
thought it was
blown, I guess.
Oh, we can still talk about it.
I'm joking. Yeah, we will. All right. So.
True story or no?
Sure.
No, but the season 5, that heist is based, like, if it was done in real life, it's theoretically possible.
Right.
It's an interesting story.
Well, and physically possible. It's just the means to do it.
And it's also, it won an Emmy, I think. Is that what you said, Sean?
International Emmy, yeah.
Okay. That means it's good.
That does mean it's good. You watched what's it called, The Ozarks? Or just
Yes, Ozark is one of my good shows to watch.
Same.
Oh, you can still see Martin.
No. If I turn off.
No, it's good. I can leave it.
Double effect. Hey, how's it going?
He's gone from his screen.
Yeah. I'm back. I got. Yo.
So funny.
Hello. That's so funny.
That's gold.
Yeah, those money washing movies are amazing. I gotta watch. I'm gonna watch this for this weekend. It's like Margin Call, but else not. It's Margin Call, the Big Short. I've seen that one.
Oh, The Big Short is so good.
So good.
And I think it's The Boiler Room. I've been seeing a bunch of Margin Call clips on YouTube that I gotta make me wanna watch it.
The Boiler Room. What's that about?
Something of finance related too.
Oh, okay.
Movie. Oh, film. Let's see. I guess it's not based on a true story. It's about an unlicensed casino.
Okay.
Fly-by-night brokerage firm, hyper-aggressive young stock jocks, appealing to unsuspecting buyers. Sounds like a bit like Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
Or, what's his name? That other guy. Ponzi scheme?
Mm-hmm.
Ponzi.
Catch Me If You Can is also really good.
Yeah, I saw it.
Is that a finance movie?
It's about some guy who, like he just defrauds banks.
Oh, I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought it was like a Lost situation or Taken situation. I mean,
you haven't watched Catch
No.
Me If You Can?
no.
Bro, it's like like Leonardo DiCaprio was like young in that movie.
Yeah.
And like Tom Hanks is in it too.
One thing you'll realize about me, I guess, during this podcast is I have no idea about movies. I barely watch movies. I've maybe watched, I could probably count how many movies I've watched in my life. Less than 100.
Really?
I don't know. I can't
Crazy.
fucking sit for 2 hours. I can't. I don't have the attention span.
Unless it's Minecraft movie.
Unless it's Minecraft movie. There you go. Yep. I could sit through that
gotta watch those
forever.
shows with like 40-minute, 1-hour episodes. Do you like documentaries on real events?
Yeah, it's like either TV shows, and I've got to be really into it. So like, yeah, or documentaries. I watch a lot of documentaries.
Yeah, I feel like if a movie, I mean, most movies that are based on true stories aren't don't do it justice, but like what was it, like Margin Call, The Big Short. Those are pretty great. And I watched the whole Madoff Monster of Wall Street documentary on Netflix too. I think that's a couple episodes of like 1 hour each.
That would be a good one.
That's about
Rupert
Bernie
Madoff?
Bernie Madoff.
Sorry, Bernie Madoff. Okay.
Madoff.
Interesting.
2023, 4 episodes. I think they're like an hour or so each, a bit less than an hour.
I'm big into war movies too. I hate horror
Oh.
movies. I don't know why. I just don't like blood and gore, like over the top blood and gore. That's the same reason I don't really like watching like, anime sometimes, just because of like how over the top it can be. But like I
Yeah.
can watch, heads being blown off by a 50 millimeter artillery round and just be completely fine. You're like, just
Yeah.
did you see that? That was pretty cool.
But you liked what's it called? Blue Eyed Samurai, right?
Sorry, say that again.
You liked Blue Eyed Samurai though, right?
Yeah, that was the only good. I don't know. That was the only anime I could watch. I don't know.
It was
I do
good.
like good
It
sword
didn't
play
have a lot of
stuff.
horror. Yeah, good sword play.
Yeah,
I
and
love
I
that.
watched all of Avatar, believe it or not. Like the entire TV series. I
Oh.
loved it.
The anime?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but we were watching a few of the first episodes yesterday.
Yeah.
It makes me want to watch more.
The
Yeah,
live
it's-
action one is also pretty good.
Yeah, the new live action show, they finally came out with a good, decent follow-up, and it matches like the action, the directing, the cinematography. I don't know if you've noticed, but I
Mhm.
watched the live action like a year and a half ago, and then I just started watching the anime yesterday, and I was telling Hannah like everything here is exactly the same camera angle, like scripts, lines as the original.
Do you remember when the
Pretty good
first
job.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong Avatar movie came out? We thought it was the coolest shit when we were like,
Yeah.
7, 8 years old. We were like, this is fucking awesome. And then,
Right.
5 years go by. I watched the entire, Avatar thing. I'm like, this never happened. This never happened.
Yeah.
Half the shit that happened in that movie was just filler. And then the ending didn't even happen in the TV show.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know.
anyway.
The scene that makes me laugh the most is like the one earthbending fight we seen with like this whole team of earthbenders fighting, 5 of them doing a dance, and then it's just one rock that flies by. I know. Like that, the fire CGI was decent, but everything else could have been done so much better.
That was the only good part about it, was the firebenders. I fucking
yeah.
thought firebending was the shit.
Firebenders, like the fire tribe, just has unlimited aura.
I know.
And Zuko, what's his actor's name? Dev Patel, always a great actor.
Oh yeah, no, he's great. Yeah, he's good too.
He's
What other one is he in? I can't remember what movie he.
Well, he's in one of my favorite movies, which is The Man Who Knew Infinity, which is also based on a true story.
The Man Who Knew Infinity? Is that what you said?
Yeah, The Man Who Knew Infinity.
Can you put your mic a little closer, Martin? We can barely hear you there.
Not bad. Better?
Yeah, that's much better. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. The Man
He was
Who-
in Slumdog Millionaire too.
That was it. That was it.
Yeah, that's
That
Good
was.
movie.
See, I've seen like the main trope movies, like fucking Slumdog Millionaire, or anything that I've been forced to watch by, my parents or my sister. I
Mhm.
watched the entire High School Musical trilogy as a young teenager, and I wanted to blow my brains out every single time. My sister had a High School Musical 3 birthday party.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so
I haven't seen them yet.
don't.
I've seen.
It's honestly not worth
They're
your time.
Not even
first
close to
two
worth
a
your
long
time.
ago.
You're just throwing away 6 hours of your life.
Oh man. What series are you talking about?
So, just wanted to throw out one thing. September 9th, there's going to be the third UAP hearing in Congress, which is going to be a doozy. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be really, really fun. But the other thing that we were going to talk about is the key updates of the Venezuela and military buildup from the states, and the states just committed an act of war. Um, they blew up 11 people on basically a high-powered dinghy boat, and called them drug traffickers. And there's even calls in question from high-level diplomats of other countries right now that are questioning the footage integrity. Some are saying it's AI, some are saying you can't see anything and they're not releasing enough information about it. But there's a couple of other congressmen like Rand Paul who have been um, doing some rhetoric on basically saying like this is a war on drugs and terror. This is the same thing as the terror war. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
normally you need Congress's approval to, either do an act of war or declare war on another country. And they're kind of using this rhetoric of cartel um, targets as a way to actually hit targets. So it's a little concerning. I don't know what the next step here is, and the implications are pretty broad in terms of like the local Caribbean diplomacy and standards and stability. Um, Venezuela's reaction. So Caracas strongly condemns the U.S. actions, denies official collusion with cartels. So they're denying collusion with cartels completely. They're saying we have no, you know, part of the cartels. We're doing nothing. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So in response, they've staged some military exercises near the border of where they are in their own country and where the buildup is off the coast. Um, International law scholars, regional experts, and policy analysts warn the strikes and the rhetoric risk violating legal norms, use of lethal force on high seas without transparent judicial process. This could spark dangerous escalation and may produce collateral humanitarian and migration yeah, why can't I talk? Consequences across the region. Crisis groups and other analysts highlight the risk of wider destabilization if military operations expand, which is
Jeez.
pretty much happening anyway. Um, so there's a little snippet here that says what to watch next, like practical signals. Um, Additional U.S. strikes would be a large one, obviously. Diplomatic moves, OAS, UN commentary, and statements from Colombia, Brazil, and Caribbean states. They're going to probably push back and seek de escalation, which most countries probably are going to be doing, except the states, of course. And then legal actions and congressional oversight in the U.S., challenges to the use of force authorizations and lawsuits, of course, operational reporting about the Tren de Agua arrests, seizures, and independent verification of the claimed drug shipments. So that's kind of, you can't just blow up a fucking ship and say it was running drugs when you don't have like the actual collateral evidence. Even if it is in international waters, it's still part of it's. It can still be claimed by the international court, right?
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now.
Actually, yesterday, the Pentagon said that 2 Venezuelan military aircrafts flew near a naval base destroyer, and the U.S. has warned Caracas to stop interfering with the investigations and operations. So yeah, you're right, James. Venezuela deployed 15,000 troops on through the Coast Guard and along its shores,
And I'm pretty
pretty well
sure,
nationwide.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure President Maduro, either yesterday or the day before, he said he basically did a broad statement to all of the civilians, saying like, start getting your arms together, start training. Like we don't know where this is gonna go, so be prepared to protect the motherland or something like that. So that's like, I don't know, that kind of rhetoric coming from the president is pretty scary.
Yeah.
And then yeah, him deploying 35,000 troops. I didn't know the exact number. That's interesting. That's quite a lot of troops.
15,000.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
15,000.
Where did I get 35? Sorry, I'm very tired and I'm on my third coffee today, so I'm flying and also crashing hard at the same time.
Man.
If anything, I could see this being another Bay of Pigs situation.
Bay of Pigs,
Yeah,
what's that?
yeah, I could
It's
totally
the
see that
standoff
too.
between it was the standoff between Cuba and the United States. Russia had deployed warheads in Cuba aimed at the States. So they deployed a bunch of their naval forces and pretty much banned travel.
Mhm.
So like Americans, I'm pretty sure, wait, hold up, I'm going to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure at least as of 2018, Americans weren't allowed to travel to Cuba.
I don't think they are still.
Wow.
Because when I went to Veradero, they were just opening up to U.S. investment, but still no tourism.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're still under pretty heavy sanctions.
Only under specific categories permitted by the U.S. government, such as supporting the Cuban people, visiting family, or humanitarian projects. I had no idea. Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Americans are allowed to travel there now,
Are they?
Oh.
Okay.
What?
but it's under 12 categories. So like,
Engaging with local
what's it?
businesses, and you need a full day itinerary.
Yeah, it's pretty strict.
Can Canadians go?
Oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
Canadians can go no problem.
Hmm.
So, do you guys want to hear about the Bay of Pigs invasion? Because it's actually quite interesting, and it also ties into JFK's possible assassination.
Yeah, that's
I I don't think JFK was president at that time.
Yeah, he was the president. The whole thing was like basically, the CIA wanted to invade Cuba for a multitude of different reasons, and they had like a lot of different plans. And then I'm pretty sure Kennedy found out and he nixed it. He said, no, we're not going to do that. Then they had a plan to basically do a false flag operation on their own citizens. They were going to blow up an airliner and blame it on the Cubans. And that was going to be their precursor to start the invasion. And JFK found out about it and put a kibosh on that plan too. There's a lot of
wow.
things where during that administration, JFK was like basically fighting tooth and nail with the CIA on a lot of different fronts. In fact, he was even talking about abolishing it at one point. So a lot of people,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's come out during the JFK files, but I think there was something in there about it. But a lot of people, before the JFK files came out, they were basically saying the CIA conspired with either the Mossad or some kind of uh, mob aspect to kill JFK in order to basically invade Cuba and keep the CIA running.
so this started before JFK.
Oh, yeah, it was under Nixon too. The CIA got Nixon as
No,
well.
Eisenhower.
Oh yeah, Eisenhower. Sorry.
So yeah, like in just before the 60s, Castro revolutionized its what's it called? They essentially tried to just get rid of American-owned businesses in Cuba and aligned itself with the Soviets. U.S. doesn't like that, especially at the time. Had a bunch of Cold War implications.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, before JFK, Eisenhower, the CIA began training 1,500 Cuban exiles to form a counter-revolution against Castro.
Yeah, they had some crazy plans too. Didn't they? I can't believe I can't
So,
remember if they did it, but they did a fake vampire invasion in Cuba with those nationals.
Fake
Did you know about
vampire?
that?
No.
I don't think that was true.
There's a whole yeah, there was a whole video on it. Do you guys know who Wendigoon is?
No.
He's a YouTuber, but anyway, he does a whole like 2-hour video on it, and it's pretty compelling. But yeah, they basically conspired in these like high little mountain villages. So they believe in like vampires or whatever, and there's like this local legend where like a vampire basically takes people at night and like strings them up upside down to drain their blood. So the CIA had an idea where they were going to basically like fuck with them psychologically in order for them to leave that area, and they basically kidnapped a couple of guys, killed them, put them up exactly how the local story goes, and put like two puncture marks on their necks to make them think it was like a vampire or something, and then started spreading around the local villages that that was what happened. And then yeah,
Okay.
subversion
What
techniques from
for?
the CIA are so fucked up, man.
Yeah. What was?
So you want to know something crazy
Yeah.
about the Bay of Pigs? In the span of, what is it, in the span of 4 days, all this shit happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
April 15th to 19th, 1961. So starting on April 15th, 8 CIA supplied B-26 bombers, painted to look like Cuban planes, attacked 3 Cuban airfields to destroy a small amount of the Air Force. So then that damaged the aircrafts enough, but like they're still operational because they didn't get rid of everything. And then 2 days later, 1,500 Cuban exiles landed on the southern coast, and they immediately came under heavy fire from Cuban militia.
Oh my god.
And then the day after, like not even 24 hours after, Castro's forces with tanks and the remaining aircraft, they launched a counteroffensive. And then the day after that, 1,100 men were captured and 120 were killed.
And I
It
think
It was over in 72 hours.
Yes, and the reason it ended so quickly, one of the reasons it ended so quickly, is because JFK denied the air support. Because there was supposed to be a large air support covering the men who were doing the invasion, but I think JFK called it off. Did he not, Sean?
Yes, the CIA was a big driver in striking, and JFK had canceled them, leaving Castro's Air Force intact, which then caused them to surround and capture those invaders. Also, poor intelligence was why the uprising of the anti-Castro uprising never matured.
Yeah,
It embarrassed the administration, and then it put Cuba a lot closer to the USSR.
Yeah,
and that's what caused the Bay of Pigs.
So
Crazy.
wait, I'm curious about this thing that happened 3 days ago. You said people aren't sure if it's AI or not. The video about the 11 people killed on the ship by the U.S. military. It might be AI too.
Yeah, well, that's what some diplomats of other countries were saying. I don't know.
People are saying it's AI?
Some high-level diplomats of other countries did, yeah. I think Brazil did. A couple other Latin countries. I don't know. So all I know is like
anything's possible.
all I know is like the integrity of the footage is being called into question internationally. So it's not me saying it.
I see.
Yeah, well, apparently they're part of the Tren de Aragua gang,
but
which
there's
is one of the cartels within Venezuela.
Yeah, I think Marco Rubio said yesterday that they were coming towards the States. So they must have tracked it from wherever it would have launched. And then as soon as they got like confirmation of who was on board, I don't know how the hell they would have done that. And then what was on board, I don't know how the hell they would have done that. Then they would have gotten the confirmation. But again, like this calls into question, like, where is the approval from Congress? There was no approval. They did not vote on this. And here again,
here's the hypothetical. If a Cuban ship carrying 11 people, not confirmed to have drugs, but they look armed. No, I do. Like, I'm just using this as an example.
Oh, okay.
If they come close to American waters or are approaching American waters, what would you do as commander-in-chief? Because yes, there's provisions in place for war, but that's the difference between a republic. The president would have the final say at the end of the day when it comes to like very quick
He can order
decisions.
strikes once the war is approved by Congress. Till then, he
Like
cannot approve strikes.
all those strikes, well, not all of them, but a good chunk of the strikes Obama sent to Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, some of those weren't approved by Congress. Where were those? Where were the controversies there?
There were controversies. There's still controversies. His whole invasion of Iraq and Syria, Afghanistan was a fuck up. They ran out of bombs. Barack Obama administration was ruthless. They were fucking bombing weddings.
And
Yeah. But again, he had Congress approval. That was an invasion.
For a good chunk of them.
Yeah, exactly. But this wasn't like he's hitting a target before they're declaring war in Congress. They're declaring war on a cartel that lives within a different country that has denied that they have any involvement with. Plus, you asked me what I would do if I was president. I would follow international and country law, meaning if that dinghy or that sloop boat, or not sloop, I've been playing too much Sea of Thieves. If that boat reaches the mainland, what would you do? You would apprehend it. You would arrest the people who are on board. You'd take the information and the drugs, and then you'd, put them in jail. Use it as a pawn. You want these guys back? Guess what? Clean up your shit, and then we'll give it back to you. But until then, we're gonna keep taking boats and keep taking your guys. Not fucking blow them up in international waters under no congressional approval. That's my problem.
Would not have.
I just think
Probably
it's
would have sunk the ship and then got all the people once they're scrambling.
Yeah, exactly. Incinerating them in a fucking pink mist. Like it's just way overboard.
Mhm.
And then Trump just puts it on a Truth Social, and is like, "Yep, we fucking did it under my approval. We did this. We knew it was 11 guys." And it's like, dude, what you just committed international law? Like, you just Trump could be an international criminal in like a year because of that.
Mhm.
I don't know what. I don't know. Anyway.
No,
Oh, wow. Venezuelan officials are, because Martin, I was really intrigued by that AI claim.
yeah. Yeah.
Even senior Venezuelan officials are openly claiming it's AI.
Yeah.
So like
Isn't that
not
crazy?
even just like European or like Asian countries or whatever that you were saying, James. This is like the country itself.
Yeah, I know.
Like Venezuela themselves are saying that this is AI or likely AI.
Who is it? The Venezuela's communications minister, Freddie Nanas, suggested in a post. So, like Reuters does not see any evidence. However, they'll continue to review the footage as more information becomes available. Wait, what else? I'm trying to find the actual video so I can see it too, and we can judge it and
Yeah, we
review it
can. Yeah,
ourselves.
let's take a look. I can find it. 1 sec. Dippity-doo-dah.
That's true. And like what you said, basically what you're saying to James, the director of defense oversight at the Washington office, he said, being suspected of carrying drugs doesn't carry a death sentence. He posted that on X.
Exactly.
see
Like
this
what?
video.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the water looks stylized and unnatural. The explosion apparently looks cartoonish, and the motion artifacts lack fine detail common in AI videos.
Interesting.
In presence of, quote, unclassified text and unknown watermark, which argues digital manipulation.
Cameron Case.
So I don't know. That's the thing. These days with AI and how crazy everything's gotten, you really have no idea.
And this is like the second or third video we've talked about on this podcast, like with the Will Smith um, show, his concert,
Mhm.
and then this, and then
Well, it's even like the YouTuber Quebblecob. I don't know if you remember him.
I remember this.
He was a Minecraft YouTuber. He doesn't make videos anymore. Like AI makes videos for him, and his face is all AI, and he makes millions of dollars.
Yep.
What the hell?
It's like 20-minute long videos too that are just like all AI. It's crazy.
Just long enough to get monetized.
Yep. Okay, boys, I'm gonna share this screen, and girls, sorry. I'm gonna share this screen, and then we can watch that video together. Hopefully, I hope this works. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Which one am I gonna do here? This one. Share screen. Okay, can you see it up there?
Yep.
Okay. So it's just from a video, but here it is. So it is pretty choppy. And then
It
the
is.
strike should be right around here. Oh, that's a better view. I like this view. Yeah, it is choppy.
If it was a bit higher resolution, we could tell if the explosion was a bit cartoony.
Well, here it is again.
Why do you think Trump would release this footage?
It's interesting. Yeah, why
There's been
would
crazier pieces of propaganda.
I
Yeah,
guess.
no, he likes to talk about every little thing that he's accomplished, but man, it's tough to tell with the low quality.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
definitely
know.
not as obvious as the Will Smith one.
No, that one. We got that one. We got that one, guys.
That one's a close case.
Leave it to us, the AI experts.
I even showed my sister. She's like, "What the actual fuck, man?"
Yeah. No, like I'm a bit worried because like we can tell we were on social media on the internet the last like 20 years, but like people like older people like my mom, like our parents, the people I talk to every day, there's some pretty sophisticated scams out there going on with people copying their voices.
That actually happened to my grandpa's friend.
Yeah. Did he get scammed?
Almost. He was like at his cottage in Quebec, and he got a call from what sounded like his grandson, but it made zero sense, and he like figured out in the end it was a scam. The same thing like my mom's boyfriend. His mom got a call from the grandchild, but they're Spanish, so like they call her abuela.
Yeah.
But then the scammer called her grandma, so she was like, "Nah, this is a scam." But it sounded exactly like the grandkid.
Really?
It's like if you ever get a call, and never say the first word if you don't know who it is. All it takes is one word, and they have your voice.
That's insane.
The trick I use usually, well, I've also got a caller ID, so anytime I get a weird spam number, it shows up like likely spam, so I don't answer it. But if I
Yeah.
get a weird number, I usually wait 5 seconds, or even 15 seconds sometimes, just like listening to my phone. And if nobody
Mhm.
talks, usually they just hang up within
Hang up.
7 seconds, so you're fine anyway. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Just
Usually
don't say the first word.
Yeah, just don't say the first word. Most of the time they hang up. Yep. It's getting pretty sophisticated. I don't know. It's going to be indistinguishable within 5 years. I know that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we're already talking. Like, we couldn't figure that out. If that is AI, that is a really good AI.
100%.
But I did see a couple of little like weird artifacts in that. Because, like, did you see that one moment where after the explosion where it was like white, it kind of phased to blue a little bit, like almost trying to get into color?
Yeah.
But that's an IR, that's an infrared forward advanced camera. Like that is going to be black and white all the time unless you toggle it into a different uh, uh, um, you know,
Mode.
phase of the camera, I guess.
Lens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different lens or a different like yeah, filter. That's the
Resolution.
filter.
All that.
I mean filtering. So like they have infrared, and then they've got black and white. They've got heat distribution. Yeah. So I found that weird because usually it would just be a solid black and white, and then you would be able to see the heat signatures, which would be glowing white because of how hot, and then all the black stuff around would be the cold signatures. And then when it phased in and out like that, and it was kind of blue, I was like, that's kind of weird. But that was the only thing that I could see.
So maybe that's the sign that it's not AI. That if it's trying to phase in and out, that someone's adjusting the lens briefly.
No, that's what makes me think that it is AI. It's AI trying to phase into color, not realizing it's supposed to stay in black and white IR vision,
Ah,
right? Because that's
I see.
infrared, that's black and white. That's only showing white
Yeah,
and black heat signatures.
yeah,
Like it doesn't phase into blue or normal color ever. You'd have to, like I said, switch to a different filter, like
mm,
radar filter or whatever, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
So I just found that weird. That's the only thing. But again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a marine biologist,
Yes.
so I can only guess.
Only the marine biologists can save us from
Mhm.
AI detection.
Yep, interesting stuff though.
Yeah, man. So you think what do you think is gonna happen next between the U.S. and Cuba, or Venezuela rather?
There's three likely outcomes. First one would be a standoff, like a Wild West sort of thing. They just sort of just sit where they're at and just try to have the bigger balls.
Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, pretty much. And then other one is like confrontation but limited. So like there'll be like a clash at sea, or like a patrol boat will go out towards the destroyers and conflict might arise. But if that happens, then further scale operations can happen,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
then
it
full
almost.
scale escalation. But that's like the least likely outcome.
I don't know. It almost feels like the
Because
states are provoking Venezuela at this point. Like, why else
because
would they
there's
hit it?
also
Oh, what's happened?
there's a couple wild cards to take into consideration. It's political pressure to make government faces look strong,
Yeah.
and then like theatrics, and then if the US can prove its claims about the cartel, like if they can prove it, then that's a whole other story. And then third party mediators like Brazil, they have influence on both sides. So it should be interesting to see what other countries do in reaction.
What's the impact with Brazil's involvement? Why is that? I know Brazil's a large country in that area, but why would Brazil have any say in this?
It's just economic ties and like diplomatic stuff. Like it's just like economic turmoil, like with market corrections. It's like if a war starts, part of the market dips, and then like the oil industry rises. So
Yeah.
like if there's something in Venezuela, like if the US gets involved with Venezuela, that's going to cause the neighboring countries to either pick a side or stop doing business with both.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. That makes sense. Instability within the market because of the
Because
war
like
would cause them to find different trade routes.
because Brazil, like they're one of the leading powers in South America with their timber and all their other stuff like agricultural needs. So that's what makes them such a big player in this instance as a third party.
Okay, interesting. Who do you think they would side with? I mean, obviously, just give it a best guess.
I don't know. A lot of countries like to abstain, but when you do that, you can lose not only just like respect but confidence from either side.
Yeah, or even key
Like-
things you need, like minerals or oil or whatever.
So like I can see them siding Venezuela just because like proximity, like they're close, but at the same time, like not siding with the States is kind of a shot in the foot, economically speaking.
Yeah, but I mean, they've already been shot in the foot by the States through all the tariffs anyway, so I don't think that matters anymore.
No, Brazil had a nice trade deal with them.
Oh, did they? I thought they were like top
Mhm.
5 in the tariffs.
No, the only country that right now doesn't have, or at least like big country that doesn't have a deal with the U.S. is Canada.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because China made a deal with them, Argentina. I thought Venezuela did as well.
Mm,
Indonesia did.
I don't know.
Japan did. Like,
I
Tariffs keep
swear I
changing
saw
all the
that
time.
Brazil's tariffs were like one of the highest in the world.
I thought so too. Here, let me look.
here.
Brazil, USA tariffs. I would imagine Venezuela got hit pretty hard too, though, right?
Mm.
Apparently it's 50%.
Okay, yeah, so it's not in the top 50 or top 5, but it's still 50% is a lot.
Yeah.
So no Vietnam getting 90%.
Goddamn.
Why
Poor
did Trump
Vietnam.
put 90% on Vietnam? that seems like a huge fuck you.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What happened there?
I mean, they were at war
Yeah.
with each other, so that makes sense, but I still find that really funny.
Mm.
But yeah,
What do they
European.
produce?
Sorry?
What do they produce in Vietnam?
Ladyboys.
Ha 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 ha.
Got a bit terrible on that.
Hannah didn't like that one. I don't know. I have no idea what their exports are.
Me neither.
I would imagine
Let's see. Um,
agriculture and then some maybe fisheries. I would imagine they have some
it's
type
actually
of lumber.
machinery. Machinery accounts for nearly 40% of total exports.
Oh.
So computers, footwear, phones, accessories, textiles, and garments.
Interesting.
So
Pr- Pretty much just like a less developed China, if you will.
Right.
everything that Trump's trying to bring back to the States, apparently.
I mean, not Apple, Meta pledged 600 billion of investment in the next 3 years.
Oh yeah, I saw
Oh.
that.
And then Microsoft was 80 billion.
To Vietnam
I think,
for
yeah.
manufacturing? Or
No,
what?
to the US, to the US.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Trump called, he called everyone to this little dinner, and was like, all right, basically like all these tech CEOs, like how much are you gonna spend in the next? You said 6 years, right? Or 5 years was it?
3
Oh, 3. Okay.
by 2028.
Right. Just kind of forcing their hand, being like, you gotta
It's
spend.
it's
Hit your number.
nearly 1.5 trillion dollars of pledged investment.
That's crazy.
Jeez, that's a lot. That's a lot of dough.
Mm,
But yeah, the big key countries that have trade deals with the U.S. now is, well, European Union's not a country, but it acts as one essentially. Only 15%, down from 28. Japan has a similar deal as the EU. Great Britain has one that's pretty well the same as Japan.
wow.
Indonesia has lower rates on mining and like minerals for EV chains. Vietnam on seafood and electronics. Oh, they even expanded cooperation on semiconductor manufacturing. Vietnam,
Interesting. What
How recent
is
was
that with
this?
Thailand or sorry, not Thailand, Taiwan?
US.
That's with the States? Okay.
Yeah, all this is with the states.
Okay. Okay.
And then Philippines, lower tariffs on agriculture and labor.
How recent was all this?
These were all as of, well, the European Union was July 31st of this year. Japan, I want to say it was before. The UK was the most recent.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, well, I guess the only countries that negotiations are still ongoing is Mexico and Canada. China has, like, they had a deal, but then I guess nothing was finalized. So they're still in talks with China.
Yeah, and then we just got hit. Well, not us, but our canola sector in our economy just got hit hard by China too. They put something like 90% tariffs on our canola exports to China, which was like a huge part of our market.
Same thing with like seafood and lobster.
Yeah, you see
The
that
maritime
Newfoundland?
provinces got hit.
You see that Newfoundland fisheries that had like 3 salmon fisheries that went under? They
No.
like had to quell like
tariffs?
31,000 fish or something like that.
Well, fish farms are controversial in itself.
Are they?
Yeah, like they typically have less nutrients and like they're not as healthy and they're more prone to disease.
You mean like
It's
indoor
just
fish farms, like large, like
no,
manufactured fish farms, or like sea fish farms, like that are actually like out in the
both.
sea?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah. I actually did a not like a unit, but like an assignment on fish farms back in high school. And it compared the quality of the food, but just like the environment around, and like certain spots of the ocean can't handle having hundreds of thousands of fish in such a small spot because they defecate and like the water doesn't get cleaned properly, and then there's disease and that spreads.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
So
salmon
that'd
though,
be Newfoundland
and tuna.
Yes,
I like my salmon too. Yeah.
but do you like ringworm?
No,
I didn't know.
not particularly. Not my favorite thing in the world. You hear that
So why were
nasty
these?
screwworm from Mexico?
No.
Bro, there's just so many parasites, bro.
It's like it's not.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's a parasite, but it's like some kind of organism. But they call it the screwworm.
Sounds like one.
And if you get a cut and the eggs get on it, they like grow into a worm that like screws into your body. It's
It's a
disgusting.
goddamn parasite.
Yeah, it does sound like gross. But yeah, there's a whole hubbub right now because like there's an outbreak down in Mexico, and they used to have like this biological line between Mexico and the States, where some kind of, I can't remember what it was, but maybe it was some kind of insect that was basically acting as a natural barrier between the two. And something happened where those insects are now no longer there. It was like a biological breakdown or something. And now the screwworms are making its way farther and farther north into the States.
Damn.
There's everyone freaking out about that.
Jeez. Let's hope they don't come here.
Nah,
I like
we
my
just got
fish.
ticks and other stuff. We got mountain lions, bears.
There's an invasive plant growing in the Great Lakes. It's forget the something to do with razor, but the stem, it has razor sharp rivets, and it can grow from the surface of like the floor of the lake all the way up to the surface level. And like they're fucked. Like if you swim near them, you'll cut up your whole arm and bleed out in the water.
Shit.
Really?
There's also
They're actively trying to get them out of Lake Superior and Michigan, I think.
Have you guys seen Going Clear?
going clear or
It's like
clear?
a 4-part documentary series on the Great Lakes and the invasive zebra mussels and the extent of what uh, people are trying to do to get it out. And it's pretty crazy because it's
Yes.
basically devastated most of the Great Lakes. Like if you look at the Great Lakes now, it's basically just rock and zebra mussels. And then near the end, they start talking about the invasive grass carp, which is starting to become a huge issue too because they're so aggressive and territorial, but they have such a large territorial spread and they breed like crazy and they just decimate the population of the local fish in that yeah. So it's not good. Great Lakes are not doing great right now.
Mm.
I want to catch grass carp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can't swim in certain parts of Lake Huron
Yeah.
in Lake Ontario, especially close to like the Toronto Harbor.
Yeah.
I went
It's a little bit
paddle
dangerous. You
boating
gotta
on
go.
Lake Huron last year, and I went like pretty damn far out. The water was low, but it was so shallow and clear, like you could see right through. And it was just all rock and all zebra mussel. Like if I took 1 foot and stepped 1 foot down with like bare feet, my feet would get ripped up. Like
Oh, jeez.
I had like waders on, but still, it was like I was out there for like I don't know a long time, but I was out like 100 yards from the shore, and it was still like this deep.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of it, all the way out there, all the way from the shore out to like 100 yards out. It was just all rock and zebra mussels. Not a single plant in sight, not a fish in sight. It was disappointing because I was fishing.
Mm-hmm. This was Lake Ontario?
Lake Huron.
Oh, Lake Huron. I see. It is disappointing. I wish we could just swim, you know, where we want. We've got all this amazing water around us, but we can't use it, can't enjoy it.
Well,
Well, Lake Superior is a fucking borderline ocean. You can like it's deeper than the height of the Empire State Building,
Really?
and the waters are so cold. There's so many shipwrecks at the bottom, and the bodies are perfectly preserved because of how cold it is. And nobody tries to recover it because it's so dangerous.
Mm. Just that cold?
Well,
can
not
you
only that, but like it's such a big lake that like you get like ocean-sized swells.
Mm.
Like it's like a pretty well-known ocean. Like when there's a storm, it's crazy.
Yeah.
can you imagine being like on a shipping route early 1800s in Canada when like the steamship like, has just kind of made its like appearance and you're in the middle of a storm on Lake Superior. I don't even want to think about being on a wooden ship, let alone a steel ship.
Mm-hmm.
Shipwrecks.
I can't
Yeah,
imagine.
no, 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 thank you. I don't even want to be on a ship right now. I hate water.
Yeah, same.
I get all
So
freaked out
you're
on
not a
boats.
water chicken,
No, I'm
hence
not a
lava
water
chicken.
chicken. Yeah, I'm not a duck.
No, I still swim now and then, like in Lake Ontario, but I'm very careful where I pick my beaches. I gotta go like farther west than Toronto to Jack Darling Park at least. You can't go near Toronto anymore.
Hmm.
Why is that?
It's like the water quality online, these water ratings, and like Sean was saying, you just don't want to risk your life trying to swim in those kind of waters.
It's just like highly polluted, and since there's harbors, it's a lot of gas residue, and then needles from all the drugs.
Yeah.
What, you don't want to
Don't
get a
want to
brain
step on
eating
them.
you don't want a brain eating amoeba and a combo of crack and heroin?
I'd rather not step on a fentanyl needle, thank you. Or no,
What? It's
I
fun.
don't even think that's intravenous, but and anyways,
I think it could. Actually, no, I don't. Never mind. I don't know. You guys want to
Def-
hear about the speaking of shipping routes and all that stuff? Do you guys want to hear about how Canada could be positioned as a pretty powerful maritime shipping superpower in the next 5-10 years?
Yes, please. That sounds interesting.
It's the Arctic, right?
That is correct. So I don't know if you guys know anything about the Northwest Passage. Do you guys?
A touch.
Not so much.
So I think it was a Spanish sailor back in the 1600s was trying to find a route other than going all the way around and up, or sorry, all the way around the African hemisphere, or sorry, the Latin hemisphere, to go all the way around to the other side of the hemisphere, or the other side of the continent for Canada and the States, which it wasn't back then. But anyway, he said he found a Northwest Passage, and it's been famed over the past like couple hundred years, and multiple different explorers have gone out and tried to find the Northwest Passage and have ended up, failing and coming back or ended up dying out there. It's a really, really brutal passage because it's Arctic up there, obviously, and it's very difficult to be able to get through the ice because it's obviously permafrost. But now, with the global warming or climate change or whatever you want to call it happening, within the next 10 to 15 years, maybe even, 2035 is the closest that it's going to be like open. But the melting sea ice is slowly opening for the Northwest Passage. It could be navigable for this part of the year, for that part of that part of the Northwest Passage could be ready to navigate by 2040. So it's melting now, could be ready to navigate by 2040. However, um, we would need a lot of infrastructure and ports and icebreakers in order to do that. I'm pretty sure we only have one or two icebreakers, which is kind of hard to believe as Canada. Like, I think Russia has the most icebreakers out of anyone. I think they have got 11 icebreakers, and we only have one or two. So that's not good
Dang.
for developing in terms of like trying to get infrastructure and resources before the Russians. Um, but it is within our borders, so they can't really do much aside from that, unless they are forcing their hand up in the Arctic and creating their own Northwest Passage, which is going to be really, really difficult because obviously it's higher north and it's not melting as much. Um,
Mm.
so we got to get there before the Russians, and that's why the states are so interested in us right now, because they know within the next 10, 15 years we're going to be a very large part of the global shipping. Um, so we're going to have to do a lot
Exactly.
of infrastructure investment, megaport expansion, expand Prince Rupert, Vancouver, Halifax, and Churchill Hudson Bay Arctic Gateway. Deepwater Arctic ports, build permanent ports in Nunavut and Northwest Territories. Then intermodal integration, invest in a rail to port links from prairies to West Coast, Quebec, Ontario, East Coast. And then also digital modernization, smart logistics, automated container handling, AI driven supply chain routing and fleeting. Fleet development. So, right, as of right now, Canada has no major container shipping line of its own. To become a superpower, it would need to create a national carrier, state backed or heavily subsidized like Costco in China. Expansion of the ice class vessels, like is what I was saying, icebreakers. They would have to expand ice class vessels and LNG fueled ships to dominate Arctic routes. Possible joint ventures with global carriers, for example, Maersk or MSC, to seed the Canadian fleet. And then obviously to accompany that, you would need to have Arctic and naval military presence. So you would have to build more icebreakers. You would have to expand the Canadian Navy for sea lane security within those shipping lanes, which makes sense. You got to protect those lanes. And then regulatory and trade frameworks. So incentivize shippers with low taxes and subsidies or free trade shipping hubs similar to Singapore and Panama. So this is what kind of makes Panama worth it, is because they kind of control a lot of when and how the shipping goes through, and then they can also charge it too. So they take a large chunk of the shipping fees just based on them going through the Panama Canal. And if we get that Northwest Passage opened, it would eliminate the need for the Panama Canal in a lot of countries. So they would just be able to go straight through the Northwest Passage. We'd be able to charge them, guarantee their security, and then take a piece off of their shipping fees, right?
Yeah.
Which would make us economically extremely powerful.
Mm.
It would be
So there's a
cool.
couple of challenges and barriers with this, though. Obviously, I've mentioned one before, which is actually building the infrastructure and the icebreakers. But aside from that, we've got climate unreliability. Arctic shipping is still seasonal, unpredictable, and high risk due to ice storms and lack of rescue infrastructure, which makes sense. That's why we would need to have to put that infrastructure into place first, right? Competition, obviously the U.S. ports, Mexico, Pacific ports, Panama Canal, and Russia's North Sea route. The capital costs, billions in port, rail, icebreaker, and ship investments. Canada currently lags significantly behind in shipbuilding capacity, so that is not a good sign for that. And then labor. Canadians' shipping labor force is small compared to Asia. Significant training and immigration policies would be needed. And then geopolitics, U.S. May not want Canada to rival its ports, obviously, and China, EU may try to diversify routes to avoid over-reliance on things like the Panama. Well, I mean, I don't know. I could see that being different with the EU, because they already are relying on the Panama Canal, mainly internationally, so that kind of puts it in a perspective, right? So yeah, that's kind of the little breakdown. What do you guys think?
It's exciting times. Like Hudson's Bay might make a comeback.
Right after getting sold.
Yeah.
Didn't they liquidate everything? Isn't Hudson Bay like no longer a company?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But,
Canadian Tire owns the colors and the branding,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
but
yeah.
the Hudson's Bay is no more.
But all of our access points, the Arctic and the passageways, like maybe like Newfoundland, Halifax, definitely. But like Newfoundland, we gotta step up our ports there and our shipping capacities, because
we need
getting
more
stuff like
we need more manufacturing for our military infrastructure too, because like we rely heavily on the states like military industrial complex to be even like building icebreakers. Like we don't even have the capability to build our own icebreakers right now. That's a
yeah,
huge
we
problem.
cannot. If we have only two, that is a huge
I
problem.
think we only have two, yeah.
We only have like 10, 15 years to go.
Something
Just
like that,
get
yeah.
them in place.
At least by 2040, the states and Russia and possibly China are going to have ports all over the place up there in the Arctic.
Mhm.
They're looking pretty heavily at
Russia,
that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like indigenous people who live up there.
I don't think that's
Live
going to
up there?
matter much when China and Russia are going to be putting in ports. I think they're going to have to make a deal, obviously, but they're going to have to make a deal quick. I think a lot of the indigenous communities up there would have to help, and obviously they'd get paid pretty lucratively for it. I think they would have to make a deal where the ports are giving a certain percentage to the local indigenous. But aside from that, like I don't think it's going to be too crazy of a deal.
Mm.
I think it's like one of those critical infrastructure things that Canada has to do in order to keep competitive on the world stage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which indigenous
I-
communities were we talking about? Like Newfoundland?
Like
no,
none
like
of it.
none of it.
Yeah.
None of oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
A
it's
lot
gonna
of
be
those
tough to-
northern territories and provinces, they are basically only populated by indigenous.
Mhm.
So
Exactly. There's not much going on there.
yeah,
Just,
but it should bring in like a lot of economic flow to those communities. It should bring in jobs. It should bring in a lot of good things. Like that's the kind of
I mean, if we're basing this off of past experiences, they won't be paid pretty well.
yeah. But I'm saying like if
Like, they still don't have clean drinking water after 10 years of campaign promises.
I'm not saying it's easier said than done, obviously, right? And yes, you're right. If you're looking at this in a historical concept or context, then yes, that makes complete sense. But in my opinion, they should be paid as they as they should be. As I don't know, it should be as equal as possible. And then, in my opinion, if they're doing the work and it's in their local community, they should be paid more than anybody.
Mhm.
They should get a large
Yeah,
chunk of
that's
the shipping money.
for
Still,
sure.
a lot
Yeah.
of it goes to the government, but
Either up front or like in royalties going
it would
forward.
have to be.
Royalties.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Mhm.
maybe even give them like stocks within those shipping companies,
Yeah,
right?
that would be
With our current leadership, I don't see this happening in the next 4 years.
really.
And
I thought
no, I don't either.
not with carding.
No,
No.
because the previous 10 years were promised to help the indigenous, and not a single look was in their direction.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Plus, the economy is
Whenever
not
they
great.
say that they're going to try to be equitable to the indigenous, I never believe them because they never do anything to prove it.
Mhm.
Yep, there with you.
It's like I find it so crazy. Like the last residential school closed in '96. It's not even 30 years ago.
Yep,
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
it's insane to think about.
Yep.
But I mean,
Well, that's
Carney's got a little bit more experience than Trudeau in creating deals and looking forward um, with the economic climate. Like, hopefully, you can make some of that work, or at least have a more long-term view.
Yeah, well, I mean, when he was governor of Bank of England, he kind of collapsed their economy. And then when he was governor of Bank of Canada, he sold off our entire gold reserve.
and then not
So
to
I'm not
mention he
too
also
sure.
worked for the World Economic Forum, which is in
Mhm.
itself a completely separate
Yep.
thing.
You know what's pretty funny though? I recently saw a clip of Carney giving a press conference when he was Bank of Canada governor, and he was saying the temporary foreign workers thing was bad, and he was defending what now is the conservative standpoint. And like right now, he's saying, "Oh, we need the temporary workers," as teenagers can't get jobs at McDonald's. So
Yeah,
like it's crazy. Like within the span of 10 years, that opinion can shift so much.
Mhm.
yeah, because he came
How is he
into
defending that though?
an economy that was basically based on that exact thing. It was temporary foreign worker programs, basically giving the green light to all businesses within Canada to basically defraud the government by basically saying we don't have any local workers or any Canadians who want to do this job, so we have to pipeline it out from a different country, which allows
Mhm.
all of those temporary foreign workers from India to come over and then work for Tim Hortons for $15 an hour or whatever minimum wage is in that province. That's how
Mhm.
It's
businesses
not
get away
even
with it.
that Canadians don't want to work though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. 4 or 5 years ago, actually, I think it was 4 years ago, there was a law in place where businesses had to prove whether or not they had local or Canadians applying for the job. And if they didn't, that was the only time that they were allowed to get this visa to be able
Mhm.
to ship people out from different countries. And before, it was mainly just used in agriculture, farming, and construction and logging. So it was
Mhm.
used in a very small sector. In a lot of places up north, it's the farther you go up north, the more sparsely populated it is, which means you don't have as many workers, so you got to ship workers in. That's kind
Mhm.
of where that temporary foreign worker policy came into play, and then the Trudeau government scrapped it, like I think it was 4 years ago. And then since then, you've had a huge influx of temporary foreign workers from other countries who also are taking educational visas as well and overstaying their visas and then not getting
Mhm.
kicked out when they should be. So that's
Well,
one of,
Conestoga College,
yeah,
um,
Conestoga
like
College is a
they're
perfect example.
30% of the foreign students were no-shows. They
Yeah.
just
Really?
applied. They just applied and got accepted because it's a quicker path to citizenship.
Yeah, and a lot of them are using colleges
With
like
zero,
Conestoga and
zero
Seneca.
intention,
Yeah.
zero intention to actually get education.
They're applying to like Humber
Humber?
College, like Humber College. That like literally it used to be a Walmart before, and they just updated it into a college. It used to be a huge Walmart.
Humber's a respected institution, though.
Or maybe it wasn't Humber. It was something like Humber, but it was like college that was not respected.
So they're applying, like paying the initial fees and then no showing,
Yeah,
like getting a refund. Wow.
And then staying in Canada and then working, right?
it's easier. It's easier to do that than apply and then go through the process.
Yeah.
And then we also
makes
don't have the
sense.
law enforcement infrastructure to actually go and get them and, either put them under arrest or put them back home. Like, we don't have any of that. In fact, I don't think we even have deportation laws here.
Yeah, we do.
I'm probably way off on that, but I think they're pretty lenient.
Like, they're definitely not as strict as like the states, but they definitely do have them.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing, it doesn't help when in August 66,000 jobs were lost in
Yep.
Canada. 7.1% is the rate of unemployment. That's the lowest it's been since 2016, excluding the pandemic.
Yep. Yeah, it's very bad. It's very bad. Yeah.
It's not a good state right now, and especially for younger workers, young adults. It's like at 14, almost 15% too.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy tough to keep and hold a good job for a while these days.
Like McDonald's, like I used to work at McDonald's in high school, and it was literally just teenagers who were fried. Now
Yeah.
it's like 30-year-olds
From
that
India.
like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like it's crazy. I went back there like last week, and some of the guys that I trained in the kitchen are now managers because being a manager will extend your visa if you're like in a job where like you're needed.
Insane.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say about the Carney thing. He basically inherited a shit economy with a shit ton of immigrants and a shit ton of missing jobs. So what else is he gonna do? Of course, he's gonna like the temporary worker program because he needs them. He needs them to keep the economy afloat. Right? Like, we've dug such a hole for ourselves that now we like need it to keep our economy afloat. Until we like start like rebuilding, like giving jobs to
Even as unemployment
Canadians.
is at a record high.
What's that?
Even as unemployment is at such record highs,
Well, that's why
we need
it's
those
at such record highs, because all of the immigrants over the past 10, 15 years, they've been taking them. In fact, there's multiple different businesses that have been caught because they've said on the application themselves, people who have been coming from India will be, preferred over others or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it was Tim Hortons somewhere in Mississauga.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
They
also,
don't know, like the labor laws, they're fine with being paid less, like all these things. They're definitely preferable to hire to employers because they're cheaper.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then every time you increase minimum wage, you have to increase minimum wage on those workers, which don't really know or care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, for example, there's this bakery by Square One, and they hire immigrants from Portugal, but they're not paying them minimum wage. They're paying them in cash. And then these people just need a job, so they're not complaining to anyone. So it's illegal, but they're not going to say anything.
Basically in servitude. Like, a lot of the farmer workers, they were complaining well, they weren't complaining until it was brought up by the CTV News investigation or something. But basically, most of the not most, but some of the farms in Ontario had such appalling living conditions for their workers. Like they were literally sleeping on the floor, shitting in buckets, like not getting enough food or water, no AC, no proper heating in the winter. Like 60 people living in the same room that's not even the size of this room. Like it's just those types of people should be thrown in jail. Like there should be absolutely laws for that. That is unacceptable. I don't. But again, like if we have a proper worker program that negates all of that and all those laws are actually followed, then I have no problem with it. Obviously, not them living in squalor, but I mean like the immigration, right?
Yeah.
But it has to be balanced. That's the whole thing. Like you can't just bring in like 1.6 million Indians or immigrants in like a year and not expect to have like drastic increases in real estate, like food shortages, like all these things.
Well, not only that, our healthcare system, like we have a healthcare system that's been teetering on the line of collapse for the longest time. And now with the influx, we have even less.
Yeah, like it strains the entire system, the entire country's system.
The current guidelines we use were set in 1984.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There has been like minimal to no changes in the CHA since 1984.
Why does that not surprise me?
Because in I don't want to get the year wrong, 1917, the government tried to federalize the healthcare, but it was shut down through the Supreme Court for being unconstitutional.
Or the House of Commons.
So then, same thing. Like House. What did I say it was? No, it was the Supreme Court.
Was it?
It was the Supreme Court.
Okay.
They deal with all that issues, with all those issues. Yeah. But yeah, that was deemed unconstitutional because that strips the power away from the provinces. So like right now, every province has separate healthcare. None of it's regulated by the feds, except for like certain practicing guidelines. Like you can't like upcharge a tissue box. You can't do this and that and whatever. But
and yet insurance can deny you for getting into a fucking car crash that wasn't your fault.
That's different though. That's no fault insurance.
I know. It just pisses me off.
But Quebec doesn't follow those guidelines. They're the only only province that doesn't.
Right.
With health insurance?
No, with the CHA guidelines.
Oh, what would they follow?
They just follow their own. Like they have because every province has their own healthcare system. That's like OHIP. Like that's Ontario Healthcare Prevention. No, not prevention plan. Ontario Health Insurance Plan. Every province has their own.
So does that mean that Quebec taxpayers they are paying into their own policy there?
We are too.
Right, but okay.
Like none of our healthcare system isn't federalized.
No, I know, but saying. Okay, so say the rest of Canada is on their own, plan. Quebec has their own plan. We pay into Quebec's plan, is what you were saying, and then Quebec also pays into their plan.
We pay into our own. So we're in Ontario. Our provincial taxes go towards our provincial healthcare system.
Right, but there's a provincial healthcare system for Quebec too. Where do they get the money to be able to pay for that?
From the Quebec state provincial tax in Quebec.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Alberta has their own, BC has their own, every province and territory has their own system, but they follow the federal guidelines.
Gotcha.
I see. Okay, I was just a little confused. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm probably worded that weirdly.
That's the main difference between Quebec and every other province.
Yeah, so Quebec, they don't follow the CHA.
I see.
They have their own set of rules and regulations.
And how's
very similar, but yeah.
Would you say Quebec's healthcare is better than Ontario's?
I don't like know much about Quebec, for example, but like somewhere like Manitoba, their healthcare system's a bit worse than Ontario, just because they don't have as much tax revenue going towards it. That's just a population thing. Like Ontario is just so densely populated that it can afford to pay more and allocate it to healthcare.
Right.
Makes sense. Well, guys, we are 20 minutes over. Should we end it?
Sure.
Yeah, I have to get back to doing school.
Yeah. We
nice.
I actually have to do an assignment on history of the healthcare system, so
Hey, there you go.
Very
That's
nice.
why-
my mind's already there.
Perfect way to end it off. All right, thank you guys for joining me on Mine Harbor episode 4. Take care. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Peace. Well, nice nails, Hannah.
Hey, nice nails.
Well done.
Bye.
See you guys.
Thank you.
See
See
you
ya.
later.